So check this out. You've got goals. You're driven. You don't need another vision board. You don't need another productivity hack. But if you're being honest with yourself, ambition is starting to feel really, really heavy. You're wearing it and it's starting to wear you down instead of fueling you. Yeah, I've been there. And today on this episode, I'm talking to all of the high achievers who's secretly tired of chasing success without catching your breath. What we're talking about on the show today is a little something called ambition fatigue and what to do when your goals start to drain you instead of driving you. Are you juggling a full schedule but want to learn data analytics? Sparks Academy is for you. It's a fully on-demand platform built with your busy life as a clinician in mind. Whether you're just getting started or ready to take on more advanced projects, Sparks Academy has you covered with guided video, tutorials, hands-on exercises, and full-length projects that simulate pharmacy practice. Have no prior experience? Not a problem. Sparks starts with the basics and builds from there. So you have a chance to make your CV shine with a certificate of completion to help you with postgraduate applications or your next job search. Best of all, they offer an exclusive discount for students, residents, fellows, and technicians. As a trusted listener of the Success in Doses podcast, receive an extra 10% off an annual membership with promo code SUCCESS today. No matter what your practice setting, you'll run into data at some point, right? Learn the skills to increase efficiency and maximize the insight you'll discover. If you're ready for your data journey to begin today, check out Sparks Academy at academy.sparksanalytics.com or see the show notes for the direct link. Don't forget to use code SUCCESS at checkout to get your 10% discount today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Success and Doses on this beautiful Monday morning. It's another amazing episode that I have for you, for all of the high achievers who know and understand that success comes in small leaps and bounds. It doesn't happen all at once. My name is Saley. I am your host, and I'm so excited to have you joining us today. If you are new here and it is your first time seeing my face or hearing my voice, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the Success Circle. I am extremely excited to have you joining us, to have you listening to this podcast and this episode today. Because on the show today, we are discussing something that for a really long time, I didn't know that it had a name. And for me, once I can name something, I kind of dive in and learn all I can about it and figure out how to either stand up to it or how to coexist with it in a way where it does not get in my way. If you are watching this podcast, if you've been listening to this show, you know what I'm about to say. I need you to go follow the show's page on Instagram, go subscribe on YouTube, and hit the like button and the subscription bell. All of these little things work in concert to make this podcast discoverable so that other people can also have the privilege of growing with us and growing this community one episode at a time. Now let's get into it and why we are here today. We are talking about ambition fatigue. For a really, really long time, I didn't know that this had a name. But I can remember very vivid points in both my personal career and my entrepreneurial career where the thing that once excited me started to feel more like a responsibility, like, I need to do this, instead of, yes, it's time to do this, I'm going to put this in place, and we're going to be out of here. For me, and my experience with ambition fatigue, it usually has been a result of when I started to not become comfortable with saying no to things when in actuality, it's okay to not be in a place and space where you want to start anything new or collaborate with other people at that point in time or volunteer for certain things, right? Everyone knows that I am extremely involved in professional organizations. This is where I kind of go and give back. And I step up for a lot of professional pharmacy organizations because that to me is where I got my start. Professional organizations is where I figured out who I am and the type of pharmacist I wanted to become by being surrounded by other pharmacists that were doing so incredibly well. And they could mentor me. That ask for mentorship didn't even really have to happen half of the time because they pretty much volunteered their services to be my mentor, whether that was through visual advocacy and demonstration and modeling or formal sit down and giving me feedback about some observations they had about my performance in various ways in various areas. And so when I found myself having ambition fatigue, very vividly happened when I found myself in the early days of trying to build ResiPrep 360, which is my student pharmacist driven business that focuses on helping student pharmacists secure pharmacy residency. And I was in the early stages of building that, but I also stepped up for a leadership position with my state organization. This is an organization that I loved, and I feel like I stepped up for that role because I genuinely thought I had something to offer, right? And it was an excellent experience. But I can tell you that it was extremely difficult to give that role that year my all because I was also exploring with how I was going to use social media to solidify and grow my brands. I was experimenting with the type of website I was going to build for this new business. This business, it wasn't necessarily new, but it was new to a lot of people. And I really didn't want to miss my mark with how I was going to introduce ResiPrep to the world, right? Up till this point, I was kind of like a best kept secret in pharmacy and didn't really talk much about what I was doing and how I was working with students and helping them secure residency in a really unique and innovative way by leveraging a lot of different resources and using industry insight, right? And I was very scared that I was going to miss my mark with the way that I would bring this business out of the shadow and become active on LinkedIn and all these different places and Instagram. And so ambition fatigue, that was the first time I think I experienced it. Because here I was serving in this executive leadership role on a state organization and also bringing a business out of the shadows and also working with a business coach at that time. And it started to become really, really overwhelming in the sense that I felt like I was letting the organization down because I wanted to give that organization and that position so much more than I could. Side by side with that, I was having so much anxiety about the fact that I would be dismissed by the pharmacy community as a person that didn't really have a lot of experience or enough experience to be able to launch a program like this. And so I have a few goals for this episode. And one of them really does begin with just making sure that we have a clear understanding of what ambition fatigue is. Interesting fact, ambition fatigue is not burnout from work. Very interesting. It's actually burnout from wanting more all the time. Like you get to one place and that goal has become achieved. And instead of sitting, taking a beat, taking a moment to kind of acknowledge how far you've come and celebrate that moment, you are already planning how you're going to get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, right? Hustle culture. We've already talked about this. And what this leads to, this constant need and constant desire for next. First of all, you miss on a very unique opportunity and what I really think is a blessing to give yourselves props and kudos for achieving whatever it just was that you wanted to achieve. And you don't allow yourself enough time in where you currently are, especially if that's professional, to learn and master where you are before you start and working on a strategic plan to what you're going to do next, right? You don't just want to have good command and move on, but mastery still has a huge place in your professional career, and expertise has a place in your professional career. And it is worth pausing for a second in a place to really master your understanding of how you function within that, because it sets you up phenomenally for the next thing. Okay, so ambition fatigue doesn't come from being burnt out at work because you can't time manage well, because you don't set boundaries well. Ambition fatigue is a direct result of the fact that you just want more all the time. Like, you haven't figured out yet that it's okay to pause, and it's okay to stay where you are for a little bit. Strategize. Think about bigger pictures outside of just, I want to be, I want to get, I want to have. That's when burnout fatigue can really, really kind of find a home in your life. More importantly, ambition fatigue, it doesn't show up in a loud way. It's this quiet vibration that starts to happen in the back of your mind. And it's kind of like, it doesn't look like exhaustion. You actually may not be tired at all when you're experiencing ambition fatigue. It's just this quiet vibration in the back that is usually coupled with a lot of resentment. Distraction is a major one. And you find yourself just not caring anymore. Like, you're like, I'm done. I'm over it. Like, I don't feel like it anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm over it, right? That's usually the biggest difference between ambition fatigue and burnout from work. And I think it's really, really important that we start with a clear understanding of the reason why this is a little bit different from burnout at work is how quickly this can lead to you disengaging completely and totally. Versus burnout, you start to learn how to coexist with it and push through it. And it affects you in a way that could really, really be detrimental to your mental health and your outlook on your job and your performance. And so once we understand that, like, ambition fatigue is something that even in a moment of success, you may be feeling, and you have all this resentment. Successful people don't talk about ambition fatigue. I can relate to this in a very, very, very personal way, because there's almost this weird shame that's attached to ambition fatigue. So you have a lot of people that they struggle with what to go after, what to make their own thing, like what to step up for. They don't even know what their natural talents are. When you're a high achieving person, you struggle with a lot of things, but that's not it. The moment opportunities present themselves to you, not only are you ready to jump on it, but you know exactly how you're going to take ownership of each of these opportunities and make them your own. And so as a result of that, other people around you, they can admire this as a strength that they wish they had. People respect you because they know that you are a high achieving individual and somebody on a team that comes in and completely transforms that team in form of performance and performance throughput. And so as a high achiever, you place this weird pressure on yourself that you need to operate from a place of grace. You need to have gratitude for the success that you've had, right? You kind of become like scared to look weak because, it's like no one told you to take on all these things. Like, why do you want to be here now complaining or acting like I don't feel like it anymore, right? But I can speak for myself in that the pressure to perform, right? The pressure to perform is one of those things that holds the key to how well you manage your ambition fatigue and whether or not ambition fatigue is going to really, really win. If you start understanding that outside people's opinions about your journey and other people's expectations that they have placed on you as a result of watching you be a go-getter and watching you accomplish and accomplish. If you understand that breaking up with all of those external pressures is the first step to how well you break through the fatigue and how well you manage your relationship with ambition fatigue, you will continue to achieve and do well. I speak from personal experience on this. The most difficult part and most difficult component, I think, of being a high achiever, an ambitious individual is disconnecting with the external opinions, especially the external opinions that I have identified as opinions that are not being introduced to improve me, to improve the way I perform, to teach me and give me tools that can help me better manage the beast that lives inside me in the form of, I gotta get it by any means necessary. When I recognize that those opinions don't kind of fill my cup in that way, they become background noise to me. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because if I don't do that, then I run the risk of having those external voices that are, first of all, going to look at me going through my internal struggles of should I keep going or do I still want to or not? It's like nobody asked you to step up for all those things. Like you brought that on yourself. Like you did that to yourself. Like I don't feel bad for you. Like you did that to yourself, right? Once I recognize that I need to separate those voices from the voices that kind of are like, okay, let's run through what you're feeling. Let's run through all of the different things that are on your table, on your plate right now. And let's see how we can prioritize better, how we can refocus your goals, how we can help extract what your deliverables are at the moment with each of these things that you're working on that obviously are things that you are passionate about and things that you want to get done. Those are the voices that I hold on to. Those are the voices that I want to keep near and dear to me and close to me in my journey to figuring out what is going to wait and what is going to get acted upon as soon as possible. Do not confuse the fact that rest is not equal laziness. It's very important that you know and understand taking a break and resting are crucial components of highly driven people that work hard. I mean, like when I work, I work. When I'm going, I am going. But when I also isolate time out to say that this is going to be rest time, I don't play about that. It will take an act of God for me to interrupt my rest period and re-engage with work. You understand what I'm saying to you? And so I think it's very important that you work on the messaging, that you work on your understanding, you work on perspective, and that you work on filtering the things that you allow in. We keep talking about this, right? We keep talking about the fact that outside influences hold a lot of power in the way we see and talk to ourselves. But also outside influences can force us to start comparing ourselves to other people. And there's no need for you to take on more things simply because you think that that is how you're going to measure up against other people. I just don't think it's worth it. Your mental health does not need it. Your physical health definitely doesn't need it. And it usually doesn't amount to anything tangible that you can show for it, whether it is professionally or in your creative space, whatever it is. The things that you decide that you're going to pursue have to be deeply rooted in what you think your purpose is. You have to have clarity about that because that way, even when exhaustion hits, you have a healthier way of knowing how to prioritize, and you have a healthier way of understanding this is what's happening to me. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't want to be bothered. It's just I need to sit down and reconfigure this plan And we need to think about how we re-engage with all of these goals, because once upon a time, these things meant a lot to me. So, how has ambition fatigue kind of been showing up in my life? It's like constantly thinking about what's next. That's how ambition fatigue has been showing up for me. Like, I'm tired of constantly talking about what I'm going to do next. Tired of constantly thinking about what I'm doing next. In this season, I really, really like where I am. I really, really like the way things are going. I really, really like the fact that Resi Prep is in autopilot. It stands up on its own. It does so well that by myself, I have been running it for more than 8 years, right? I really like that. I really like the fact that I've launched a weekly podcast and I'm loving the creative process of it. I'm loving it. I'm loving learning. I'm loving thinking about bringing on other people. I'm loving looking for opportunities to find others that I can collaborate with. Like, that's where I am right now. But I don't want to think about how do I take this podcast and take it to this level. I don't want to think about that, because I know that that's going to lead me to ambition fatigue, right? There's something very cool and exciting that I am working on for Resi Prep that I have been working on for the last 2 years. And I can't wait to talk about that. When that launches, I don't want to talk about all of the various ways in which I can elevate that project. I want to celebrate the fact that I conceptualized that project and worked on the concept development and built it by myself. You understand what I'm saying to you? So in this new season and this new era of my life, the way I am combating ambition fatigue, it's just being really, really good and happy with where I am. I am in my role as a director and doing exceptionally well by all measures. Right? I have a full team. I'm working with a team that I'm finding new ways every day of how to make showing up to work in a setting that is very, very difficult, meaningful for them. And I'm finding a lot of joy in that. I'm going on speaking engagements. This fall is going to be so busy with all of the speaking engagements I have. I want to stay in this moment and enjoy this season a little bit and not really have ambitions about how to take any of those things to the next level. You understand? And so the way that I am combating ambition fatigue is that it's just staying in the moment and not thinking that I need to always be doing something more or something bigger, something different, and elevating and escalating things to the next level. In this season, as a mom, I am loving the fact that I am recognizing that where I am right now, this used to be a place that I thought I would never be. I thought I would never have the courage to create a podcast by myself. I thought that I would never have the creativity to produce, record, and edit and publish a podcast by myself. I never imagined that possible. I'm here doing it. And like I am doing it in front of everyone, where I get feedback from everybody. My co-resis, like, they don't play. Like, they are honest. They tell me just the way it is, like the way I tell them just the way it is. But I love it because they are invested. You know what I'm saying? They are very invested. They want to see me win, right? And so to me, the biggest success that I am having at keeping this thing in check and making sure that I'm not full of resentment and making sure that I am enjoying what I'm doing is really being present in the moment and really understanding that I'm doing something really cool right now. I stood up to something I was very afraid of doing for a long time, and I conquered it. I'm conquering it. Every Monday, the episodes are published and you all listen. You bring me one step closer to standing up to something I was extremely afraid I would never have the courage to do. Yet, here we are. And so, as you know, with each of these episodes, I conclude with 3 stat doses. These are your takeaways. These are the key messages from this episode. And these are the things that I hope you take a hold of and apply immediately in your day-to-day that can bring you a step closer to knowing how to stand up to ambition fatigue and make sure that it doesn't derail you. Stat dose number 1, ambition should stretch you, not strangle you. Let's be very clear about that. There should be room in all of your ambitions that you pursue, all of the goals that you pursue, all these phenomenal things you want to accomplish. There should be room for you to come up for air, to catch your breath. And if your ambitions don't allow for that, they're not goals. It's a burden. You're carrying a burden. Instead of having a healthy relationship with your ambitions and your goals, what you have going on at that juncture is that you're carrying a burden. Maybe because you feel like I've talked about this for ages. I need to do it because I've been talking about it for so long. Or somebody reminds you, what happened to that thing you said you were going to create? Whatever happened to that idea? And you feel embarrassed and you feel a little bit of shame. And then you feel like now you have to go through it and do it, even though maybe that's not where your calling is anymore, your passion is anymore. You don't really care for that idea anymore, but you find yourself going after it. That's a huge, huge red flag. And again, I'm going to say it. Your ambitions are supposed to stretch you, not strangle you, okay? The next stat dose I have for you, pause. I don't care what you've heard. I don't care what you've been told. You can pause and still be powerful. You can pause and still be impactful. Because if you're a high achiever, one of the greatest strengths that you have is by getting things done and accomplished by any means necessary. Rest stops nothing. Okay? Rest stops nothing. And I'm intentional about this. I take off from social media from time to time where everyone else is just, oh, you're going to lose your momentum. I don't worry about that. I don't post on LinkedIn as often in this season. Even while promoting this podcast, I should post more frequently. I don't, because I take a rest from that platform to focus my energy in other places. And I'm having success in that. You understand what I'm saying to you? So pausing to rest can still be a very powerful thing you do for your goals and your ambition. And it doesn't have to feel like you are giving something up or you're sacrificing something. The FOMO can be real, but I'm here to tell you that you can pause. It's in fact a stat dose that I'm telling you. Pause and rest because you can still be powerful through all of it. Stat dose number 3, when you lose your joy in the pursuit, success just becomes one more thing that you perform. There's no real reward in that. I think that we should do everything we possibly can through all of our ambitious pursuits to make sure that joy is a part of that journey, that you preserve your joy, that you preserve it. Because the moment you lose joy in the journey, it becomes one more thing that you go through in this life that you feel like either has been imposed upon you or you feel like you just have to do it to fulfill some commitment to someone or other people or anything of that sort. And I think our dreams are so powerful in that way. They originate with us for a reason. I just don't believe in giving up the power of the things that I dream about because of external factors and external entities. My dreams are so special to me. You understand what I'm saying? My dreams are so special to me, right? When I have the audacity to dream and have a vision about something, immediately I already know, like, I'm giddy. Like, I'm so giddy. I'm so excited. And then I realized like, oh, this is going to take a lot of work. But you know what? The ideas, it still excites me. Creating this podcast is so much work, but I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to get up at 4:30 in the morning to record. I'm excited to spend hours editing, right? I'm excited to do every little bit of the creative process because it's becoming a great source of joy. It's becoming my thing that I am doing to express myself and to hopefully build community around the way I'm expressing myself and decreasing the level of isolation that comes from being a high achiever. Being a high achiever and an ambitious individual is one of the most loneliest things that you are going to experience and loneliest journeys in life you are going to experience. And my hope is that by being transparent about how the challenges that I have, and as a high achieving person and a driven person and a person with lofty big dreams, that gives you permission to also dream the boldest dreams you can, but really understand that when it comes to having joy as part of your pursuits, it's worth it. It's worth it. And you should totally not compromise on that. And that is all I had for you guys this Monday morning for this episode, talking about a very unique phenomenon of ambition fatigue. If anything you heard on this episode spoke to you and resonated with you, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Tell me in the comment if you knew what ambition fatigue was before you heard this episode. How was it described to you? Tell me how ambition fatigue surfaces in your life. How do you deal with it? I would love to know how everyone balances and everyone manages. This podcast, we are 10 episodes in now, which is crazy. We are officially in the double digits for this podcast, and it could not have happened without your support. It could not have happened without you being there with me through this journey and you coming along and starting your Monday mornings with me every single week. Like, share, subscribe. We are on the cusp of something really incredible and really special as we built this podcast. Share this episode with somebody that you think could benefit from hearing what I talked about here today, but also let them know that Success in Doses is their podcast as a high achiever where they can hear from dynamic speakers, motivational speakers, but also learn about practical tools that can bring a lot of stability in their lives, but community as well. Visit www.successindoses.com today and join our success circle where we will continue to have dynamic conversations, unique conversations, and bring you more information about how success can be obtained in your life every single day with one small step at a time. Until next time, please remember that success, it happens one small intentional dose at a time and not in leaps and bounds. Have a wonderful week. Have a productive week. And don't forget to carry your joy. Bye.